Hi, my friends, it's John Bice, and welcome back or welcome to our channel. If you're looking for information about living, having fun, chilling, what Sarasota is all about, you've come to the right place. We're here to fill you in on everything that you want to know. What beaches are local? How fast can I be to airports and entertainment and sporting events? What's it like living in the Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Venice, and Parish area? Well, we're here to tell you all about it. If you have an interest in buying, selling real estate in this area, you found the right channel. So hang on. We're going to talk to you today about 5 things you need to know before you move to Sarasota, Florida. So, 5 of the things you need to know before moving to the Sarasota area. I think you ought to consider the weather. You have to understand what our weather is. Now, everybody, it seems from the north, believes that it's like 190 degrees, 365 days a year in Florida. Well, the truth is, June, July, and August, it's hot. It's really hot. It's about 92 degrees daily, and that's hot. But it's not. I lived in Vegas. I was in the restaurant business with Outback Steakhouse and lived in Vegas for 6 years. I'll tell you, hot. 125 is hot, and people say, "Oh, there's no humidity." Yeah, right. It's like you're pulling the oven door open right in your face every single time you open a door. So yeah, we're 92 humidity, but guess what that does? That keeps it from going up to 100 degrees, believe it or not. And we have those cool breezes that come in off the Gulf of Mexico. Even where I live, 11 miles from the water, we still get those breezes. So we have on average about 240 days of sunshine. So during the summer, June, July, August, into September, we have rain almost every single day. Now, it's not Seattle, but we get a rain storm in the afternoon, sometimes between 2 and 5 o'clock, typically. And for about 30 minutes, it's going to rain, 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 and bring that storm in. But guess what that does? It cools off the temperature immediately, makes it really nice out. So, yes, we get the rain during that time of year, but it's a very short rainstorm. Now, the time that we just went through, of course, we just had Hurricane Ian go by. In the past 9 years, that's my second storm. I've been back here since 1999, and we went from 99 to 2004 before we had a storm. So 2004 and 5, we had some storms, and then we virtually went without anything for a while. And then 2017, we had a pretty good storm that came through. It's probably a category 3-ish when it got here. It came over Cuba, up the coast of Florida from Naples, got to us as about a 3. Now, Ian was a different story. All it did was catch the tip of Cuba. So it just kept building and getting stronger. And it was a large storm that moved very slowly. So living near the coast, yeah, you definitely have some chances that you take. And when I tell people Naples, you're really taking a chance living down there because you almost always get hit by a storm down there first. Fort Myers, Naples, that area. If it comes across the state or up the state, you're going to get it there. This area, we typically get them coming past us, like up the middle of the state, or if it's out in the Gulf of Mexico, maybe heading to the Panhandle or to Louisiana or even Houston in that area. But I've had 2 major storms in 9 years. And really, the last one, like Ian, was Andrew back in 1992. I lived here in Sarasota. It went across South Florida, across Homestead, wiped it out, and right across through Naples and then back out to the Gulf of Mexico. So you got to be aware of the weather. It's hot, but we also have 8 months of absolutely fantastic weather, usually end of October, November, all the way through May. especially December, January, February, and March. It's fabulous. We have maybe 78 to 82 during the day and in the low 60s, high 50s at night. Amazing time of year. So that's one of the things that people ask me about because it's not 190 degrees here 365 days of the year. The second thing that a lot of people ask me before they're moving to Florida or when they're looking for a home in Florida, what are your taxes? Well, the great news is no city, no state taxes in Florida, which, my goodness, when I talk to people from New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, I can't believe what they pay there. I just had a couple here from Long Island. Just their property taxes alone were $20,000 a year. My goodness, I can't even imagine. So, no city, no state taxes, property taxes. You can usually count on those being about 1.5 to 1.8% of your assessed value of your property. So what they do in Florida, we pay taxes in arrears. You pay in December for the year that you're currently in. So this is 2022. So this December, I'll be paying these taxes. So what they do, they assess your property in January. In November, you get what they call a trim notice, which will tell you what your taxes are. And then December 1st, they become due. And I believe you have until April to pay them. The sooner you pay them, you get a slight deduction off of that. Now, if you're relocating here and going to live here, you can homestead your property, which is a big deal because it does a couple of things. It gives you a $50,000 deduction off of your assessed value of your property to start with. And then also it locks you in. Your taxes cannot go up more than 3% per year when you have homestead. It can go down by 10%, but it can't go up more than 3%. So that's a really good thing. You'll see some people who have owned their homes for 30 years here and their property taxes are like $1,200 because they could only go up a certain percent each year. Now, the thing with homesteading is you can only have it on one home at a time in the United States. So don't think you can homestead your property in Connecticut and homestead your property here because they will come after you for that. The other tax you need to know about here is called a CDD fee. Just about every single new construction community now has a CDD fee. You'll find some areas that don't. Older communities in this area do not have it. But what a CDD fee is, it's actually paid in October and it's paid forward through September 30th. So what that does when you're in a community like Lakewood Ranch, it maintains that whole entire community. The wooded areas, the parks, the lakes, the sidewalks, the biking trails, the streets, the signage, everything that's involved in that community is maintained with that CDD fee. And everybody that lives in that particular community, Lakewood Ranch, has a CDD fee and it stays with that property. Nobody pays it off. There's no need to do that because it doesn't make your home more valuable. It's a 30-year bond and it rolls over to the next person who buys your house when you sell. So that's some of the taxes that we have here. I could get into other things about, taxes on your tags for your car and everything, but that varies so much. But the big ones are property taxes. So just remember the assessed value of your home, 1.5 to 1.8% of the assessed value of your property. The third thing to know about Florida is, do we have wildlife or do we have wildlife? And I'm not just talking about alligators. This area, Lakewood Ranch, was all wooded. It was just a complete area of woods as far as you can see. When I left Sarasota in 1993, there was nothing built past the interstate, east of the interstate. Back then, we had a dirt road that went out to the polo fields. So when I was moving back here in 99, somebody said, "Oh, we'll go see Lakewood Ranch." I'm like, "What's Lakewood Ranch?" And she said, "It's east of the interstate on University Parkway." And I said, "There is nothing east of the interstate." And she said, "Oh, yes, there is now." So that wildlife is coming back. I mean, Just in the Lakewood Ranch area alone, I've seen wild pigs, bald eagles, herds of deer. I've seen on a golf course a black Florida panther. So you'll see all kinds of things. You'll see bobcats, you'll see turtles, squirrels, skunks. You'll see it all here. But that's part of living here. It's really, really cool. You can go out just a little further east outside of Lakewood Ranch. There's an area out there, Mayaca, it's called, a lot of farmland. You can actually hunt out there and you'll see wild turkeys. My dad used to take me out to Arcadia. We'd go quail hunting. I mean, just about everything that you can possibly think of. So don't think you're not going to see some wildlife when you come here. Obviously, it's not walking through your backyard typically, but out on a golf course, a lot of times you'll see a lot of deer. Do we have mosquitoes? Yeah. People always say, why do pools have cages? Well, because July, August, June, July, August, you couldn't go outside that time of year because we get all that rain. That's when the mosquitoes are breeding. So you have to have a pool cage. Plus, it keeps leaves and just other junk out of your pool. Have you heard of a love bug? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. I've heard a rumor that it was created at the University of Florida. They were trying to do something to eat mosquitoes, but we have love bugs. So there's 2 weeks out of the year, and I can't tell you what those weeks are, but 2 weeks out of the year where all of a sudden you'll just see these black bugs flying in the air. Some years they're like ridiculous, like terrible. And then this year it was very mild, like very, very few of them. So they're typically near orange groves. Again, don't know why that is, but the closer you are to orange groves, the more love bugs you tend to see. So that's one of those fun things. So you have to get your car washed once, if they're really bad, maybe twice a week, because you don't want them sitting on your paint because you're driving through and they're on your windshield and everything. Kind of a crazy thing that nobody else that I know of has a love bug. But again, it's 2 weeks out of the year. They come, they go, they're gone, and it's over with. So that's some of the wildlife bug activity we have in this area. A lot of my clients that are considering moving here say, I do not want a homeowners association. And what are deed restrictions? Well, let me start off with the easier one first. Every community practically has some type of deed restriction, and a deed restriction is a good thing. If you're familiar with Christmas Vacation, a deed restriction would keep cousin Eddie from parking his RV in your front yard or your neighbor's front yard and letting it sit there for a month. So that's what a deed restriction is. They vary with the amount of rules that they have in there. Some will restrict you on the color you can paint your home, but primarily it's to keep the neighborhood looking good. So the HOA, it depends. We have communities without HOAs. We have communities with HOAs. Some are very lenient, like my HOA here in this community where I live. And then you have communities over in Lakewood Ranch that are golfing, gated, tend to be a little more strict. They're very particular about the color of your home, your landscaping, what you can and cannot do to the landscaping on the outside of your house. And the fees will vary. The more you have in that community, like let's say Esplanade in Lakewood Ranch, marketed as an active adult community. And I always say it's amenities on steroids, golf course, restaurants within the community. So that takes money to maintain all that stuff. So your fees are going to be higher. The country club at Lakewood Ranch, there's several different communities within the country club at Lakewood Ranch. You can have an HOA fee that's $100 a month in there, and you could go to the next community and it's $300 a month. So it just depends on the amenities within the community. Do they just have a community pool and that's it? Or do they have a clubhouse, a place to work out, pools, all kinds of things like that? Then you're going to have a lot more fees within that community. So it varies. The 55 plus communities that we have here, their fees are around $335 a month, but that includes your 24-hour gated security, all of your lawn maintenance. You don't have to do one thing on the outside of your house. They cut the grass, they trim, they edge. They even set the sprinkler system for you for different times of the year. So you don't have to touch one thing out there. If you have a palm tree that falls over or dies, they come and replace it for you. So pretty sweet. I tell people, I pay over $100 a month to go to the gym that I go to. Matter of fact, $159 a month just to go to the gym. Pest control, $85, $120 for my yard, and I'm not in a gated community, so those fees are good. But you have everything. You have no deed restriction, no HOA communities, and then you have all the way up to a 55 plus or an Esplanade community where they do have very strict deed restrictions and an HOA, which you have to have permission to do just about anything to your home. So I hope that explains what those are. So have you been cooped up in an office for maybe your career, maybe the last 30, 35 years, or you've just decided that, hey, I'm going to train for a triathlon, or I'm going to do outdoor activities almost every single day? Well, my goodness, you couldn't pick a better area than the Sarasota area. So obviously we're known for our beaches and our waterfront. So we have Sarasota Bay, which is absolutely amazing for boats, jet skis, kayaking, paddleboarding, fishing, any of that. The Gulf of Mexico, I've got friends that have larger boats that can go out 10, 12, 20, 60 miles and come back with these amazing catches of fish. So I see pictures of them all the time online. It's quite the amazing thing. So if you learn to go where those fish are, my goodness, it's killer. Yes, I mentioned something about hunting. If you're a hunter, you can do that here. But any kind of outdoor activity that you're looking for, if you want to become a long distance biker, you can do that here. Every road in Lakewood Ranch has a bike trail on it. And there's a great club in Lakewood Ranch out of the bike shop. And they have all different levels from 5 miles up to 100-mile rides. And you can do it by age group, by mileage, whatever you want to do it by. So obviously tennis, and the absolute rage is pickleball. Do you know why they called it pickleball? The guy who invented it wanted to keep his kids occupied during the summer. And he took a badminton net and lowered it so they could play pickleball. But where did pickleball come from? Their dog used to chase the ball, and their dog name was Pickle. I don't know why, but that's where pickleball came from. But again, any kind of outdoor activity that you want to do, if you've always wanted to get on a kayak and go out and see where the manatees are, you can do that. Again, paddleboarding is very popular here. Benderson Park is just off University Parkway. They have outdoor rowing competitions there. They have the collegiate and the world championship rowing competitions. Around Benderson Park is a track to run or bike, do whatever you want to do. They have an exercise park there. So if outdoor activity is what you want, oh my goodness, you've found the place. And again, for 7 months of the year, our weather is just spectacular. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. We do have 2 or 3 days of winter every single year. It gets pretty cold. I mean, we get down into occasionally the 30s. So don't let anybody tell you we don't have winter here. But again, you can exercise year round. Softball, baseball, I don't care what it is. If you like to play basketball, you can find it here. So it's an amazing place to live and be outdoors. So there you go. There's 5 of the most common questions I get about moving to the Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Venice, Parrish, Northport area. So we cover all of Manatee and Sarasota County. So if you start at the north end on I-75, you hit Parrish first, then you'll hit parts of Bradenton, and then you come into Lakewood Ranch, then Sarasota, Nokomis, Venice, and then you get down into the Northport area, which leads you into Inglewood. So we cover all of that. We would love to help you out. I don't care if you're selling a home or buying a home. We're here to be an information source for you. I was an appraiser for 7 years. So if you need to know the value of your home, and I mean a true accurate value, not just somebody coming in and going, I think you could sell for, I'm usually within $5,000 to $10,000 of what that house will actually sell for. Of course, negotiations are always open, but we can help you. We want to be that comprehensive guide for you, again, telling you all about this area. So if you're liking the videos that you're seeing, hey, hit the like of the channel and then subscribe and hit the notification bell. And that way you'll know once or twice a week when we put out a video about, hey, living in Sarasota, Florida, what's that like? You found the right channel. I really look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to reach out to me. You can call me or text me at 941-962-7443. You can shoot me an email. I don't care. And if you've got my email, if you saw this video via email, you can schedule an appointment with me right there in my email. It's a calendar invite, and you can schedule a phone call, a Zoom call, or an in-person meeting when it works for you, because I work around your schedule. So again, I look forward to helping you either buy or sell here in paradise. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon.